everyone, it's your girl Regina Sunshine coming to you from what is always a beautiful day for me here in Douglasville, Georgia with the Regina Sunshine Show, where I bring you my version of midday motivation, helping you get a Regina Sunshine state of mind. And I'm so excited to be back with you guys after our, 2-week hiatus from the Regina Sunshine Show and from everything Regina Sunshine Global Network. With an amazing show. It's interesting. I've said before, sometimes I plan a topic and then I look for guests to fill in that topic. And then the guests that just happen to be available on the same day end up having some type of common thread or commonality. But I'm so excited for you guys to meet two amazing guests today. We have live in studio already Mr. Christopher Milton, and on her way from Greenville, South Carolina, Kimby the Goddess, which I'm such a big fan of hers. It'll be the very first time she's ever appeared on my show, even though I've been trying to get her on my show since I started. And I'll share a little bit about that history when she gets here. But it's going to be a great show. I want to give a shout out to my sponsors, Leading Through Living Community and Bold Favor Media Group, both founded by Lanita Mitchell Blackwell, who also is my business coach. A shout out to them. Thank you so much for your love and support. You can go to leadingthroughliving.com and check out everything under that banner, from publishing to coaching to now comic books, right, ladies? I mentioned it the last couple of shows, but at our Bold Favor Media Group End of the Year Awards show, Anita actually surprised the entire team and had a comic book made, and all of us are featured characters. And I'll bring that out. It's in my laptop bag. Somebody wants to grab that. I'll show that when we come back from break. Just a reminder, because you can actually go to leadingthroughliving.com and get your copy of the comic book. It's just so dope. Like I told a friend of mine to say, I'm in a comic book. Not everybody gets to say, I'm in a comic book. So that's pretty cool. But I do want to make a couple of quick announcements, and I may mention them again at the end of the show. But if you've been following me on social media, you know I made the announcement, was it 2 days ago? The events for 2019 for Regina Sunshine Global Network, and we're so excited. Oh, how to get mashed up. See, never mind. See, I'm getting distracted by what's going on. My grandson plays in my laptop bag a lot, so I'm just going to put that on King, because he's always putting his toys and everything in my bag like I need to take it with me wherever I'm going. But anyway, the first event of 2019, well, it's not an event. I'll mention this. This Friday, January the 4th, 2019, we will be at the state capitol with Representative Valencia Stovall and Representative Kimberly Alexander for the Awesome Girls Day at the Capitol. If you've been following me for a while, you know every year for 4 years running, I've been doing the Awesome Girl Awards, and every year, Representative Valencia Stovall takes the girls on a behind-the-scenes tour of the Capitol. And now that I'm out in Douglasville, we've connected with Representative Kimberly Alexander, and she's going to be with us as well. So we'll be coming live from the Capitol, letting you see the girls. The girls will be getting their medals because they didn't get them at the awards show. It's going to be a great day. Now, you guys, this no water thing is really messing with me, but that's what's going on if y'all wondering why I keep coughing. I'm kind of dry up in here today. But next event of the year, and my producer, my station manager, Christine, is laughing at me. This is not funny, Christine, but she's laughing. But the next event is February the 9th. It's going to be at the Apex Museum. It is the History of Hip Hop with Professor Griff from Public Enemy. It is our different kind of Black history type of program. We wanted to do something different. So I partnered with our RSGN team member, Michelle English. And the interesting thing is the Apex Museum told us when we went there, they've been trying to get Professor Griff there for a while. So they are so excited that we're bringing him in. And I want you guys to come out. If you've only seen him on videos, he's all serious. You really don't know him till you meet him in person, because he's such a goofball and so funny and just such a great person to be around. But it's going to be from 6 to 10, February the 9th. You can go on Eventbrite and look for us and get your tickets. We are accepting vendors as well. And especially we're looking for art vendors that have hip-hop related artwork, because we want to be able to give you guys a chance to display that as a part of this History of Hip-Hop event. So that's February the 9th, Professor Griff. We're so excited. Also, we're going to be looking for opening performers. If you want to come and open up for Professor Griff, it might be a great connection for you to have in the music industry. Reach out to me at reginasunshine.robinson@gmail.com, and we'll see about possibly getting you in one of our performance slots. Right, Michelle? They got to be good. You got to, you can't have you in here, doing any old thing before we open up to this event. So we're looking for some great performers, spoken word, live music, hip hop, whatever. Just make sure you come with great positive community building message and music, but also you got to bring it. All right. The other 3 events I'll just mention briefly. June the 10th is our 2nd annual Boss Men's Awards, along with our 4th annual Young Boss Boys Awards. And this year we're doing a $500 business pitch competition. So we'll be letting you guys know more about that as well. And then on, I can't remember the date right now, it'll be towards the end of August, we'll be doing the 5th annual Awesome Girl Awards. Again, 5 years of Awesome Girls. We are launching the I Am an Awesome Girl collaboration book, 30 girls telling their stories about why they believe they're awesome girls, as well as sharing their affirmations. And then the last event of the year, our what we call probably our anchor event of the year, is the Curvy and Confident Awards right here, Regina Sunshine Global Network, Studio T in Douglasville, Georgia. That's going to be November the 16th. And again, we'll have an amazing array of beautiful women who are using their lives and their stories to change the lives of other people. And y'all always know I have dope performers. That's the thing that I think that people know about me. Any of my events, I always have dope performers. And I have to say this because people always ask, how do you get these performers, or how do you know them? Number one, I'm a supporter of the arts. I'm the person that's at the independent artist events. I'm the one that's buying their CDs and showing up for their stuff. So when you call them, a lot of times they're like, yes, Miss Regina, I'm there. And so I'm blessed that I have so many amazing artists that support my efforts and who love what we do at Regina Sunshine Global Network, and they just want to be a part of what's going on. So those are the events. You can go to Regina Sunshine Robinson page on Facebook, and you can see all the events. We're actually running a vendor special right now. It ends today. If you sign up to be a vendor for any of those 4 events by tonight at midnight, you actually get your vendor fee half off. I know I got a couple of vendors who are scoping dates right now to see which one, but I'm telling you, when it rolls around to 12/01, it'll be back to full vendor price. So this is an excellent time to get your vendor fees paid. All right, I think that's it. I always go to my first break mentioning something that I'm thankful for. So much, so much. But right now, the biggest blessing, and I think I've said this before, are the divine connections in my life. And what the Lord has shown me that 2019 is a year of divine connections, where you've done the work, right? You sowed the seed, you've given, you've served, and there's been that one thing that's kept you from where you knew you were supposed to be. And God has shown me there are going to be divine connections, people that will walk into your life because somebody shared a Facebook post, or they heard about an event you were doing, or somebody mentioned your name and they paused to check you out. And now that person now brings their entire sphere of influence and their impact in the community to your disposal so that you can take your vision to the next level. And for me, what does that mean? Awesome Girls will be able to not only give these girls life-changing experiences, but life-changing money. Most of them, I would love to be able to fund their college through Awesome Girls. Same thing with our young bosses. So I know that as we move into 2019, and those divine connections that God has already shown me, the Oprahs, the Michelle Obamas, and everybody else, they're going to show up. They don't even know why they're going to walk through these doors at Regina Sunshine Global Network, but all they're going to know is they were directed here. When they walk through the doors, my team, Christine, Michelle, Cindy, Barbara Baylor, Robin Shockley, Clarissa Partlow, Beverly Green, Jason, J. Boy Carey, Dr. Norman Collins, everybody will have an opportunity to share their vision and their dreams, and everybody's lives are going to change. That's what I'm thankful for. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have our first guest of the day. He's here and looking good. Mr. Christopher Milton is in the building. You're live with Regina Sunshine here on the Regina Sunshine Show. Where? Regina Sunshine Global Network. All right, you guys, you are back live on the air with Regina Sunshine here on the Regina Sunshine Show. Where? At Regina Sunshine Global Network. And we have our first guest of the day as a part of the last show of the year. Welcome to the show, Mr. Christopher Milton.
Thank you, Regina. I appreciate it.
It's so good to have you here.
It's great to be here.
I always start my interviews out mentioning how I met someone, and we were connected by, I can't think of her name right now.
Jaketra.
Say it again. Jaketra. She was on a show, one of my last shows that I did at Instinct Radio before I came over here, and she sent me an email, and she said, this is someone you need to know and have on your show. And so originally, there was another show that we had here. We were trying to book you on that one. Then I was like, no. We wasting time. Let's get him in. And it's so perfect, the timing with the start of the new year and so many people looking for ways to make changes in their life to have you here. But I do want to read a little bit of your bio because I think the first paragraph especially is very interesting because I didn't know this until I read it. It says, Christopher Milton is a former DeKalb County SWAT officer. Did everybody pause when I said SWAT? I just like that. Don't y'all just like that? You feel safe now? All right. He has a BA in sociology, anthropology, and an MA in human services counseling. Christopher has completed classes in stress management, spiritual counseling, personal training, and he is a certified and holistic and integrative health. Christopher has served in public service for over 15 years. He's a deacon at North Avenue Presbyterian Church and a proud member of I should have known he was a Kappa. I didn't read that far. I didn't read the last line. He's a proud member of Kappa you got that red in that tie. Alpha Psi fraternity. We'll pause there. Welcome again. I didn't know you were a Kappa. Is that why you got red in your tie today, or just it just worked out like that?
It just worked out that way.
Oh man, now I'm gonna stop. I'm a Kappa lover. But let's go back to the beginning. You, like you said in your bio, you've been in public service for 15 years. You started out in law enforcement. Where did the desire to be in law enforcement come from?
Regina, it came from the desire to want to serve. And before law enforcement, I was a career counselor. And I always said growing up, I wanted to give back and I wanted to service people. And law enforcement just came in my horizons and I went after it. And I always had a desire to be on the SWAT team. And the reason being is I was watching Bad Boys 2. And I saw Will Smith and just the movie itself. And I was like, I could do that.
Wow. Because, that's a different level of commitment to be a part of SWAT. What was that part of your journey like? What did you get from that now brings you to where you are?
Wow. So a lot of people don't know, but during my law enforcement career, I had suffered with depression and I was suicidal. And a lot of that came from living an imbalanced life. And I didn't realize the importance of it until after I got over that hurdle. And it showed me the importance of having a balance between mind, body, and spirit. And unfortunately, I didn't have that. I enjoyed what I did. I worked with some great individuals. But unfortunately, I was struggling within, which I feel that a lot of people are due to the lack of imbalance.
Wow. So you mentioned depression and suicidal thoughts. So was most of your areas of imbalance in the mental part, or was it spiritual as well?
It was spiritual. I mean, I went to church, but I did not spend time with God. I didn't pray the way I needed to. I didn't read scripture the way I needed to. I just went to church, and I thought that was enough to feed my spirit, but it wasn't. I was still suffering. My father committed suicide when I was 2 years old. So, with suicide, it could be hereditary. And of course, when I was growing up, the doctors wanted to make sure that, I was going to be okay. But, unfortunately, when you're dealing with any type of mental illness, you have what you call triggers. And not saying that law enforcement triggered that, but it took me it took me too far. It took me too far of what I needed to be at the time. And like I said, I just didn't have that balance.
Wow. So you mentioned something that I've never heard before. So in terms of what happened with your father, there was a concern that it would be hereditary as well. And I know I've heard that mental illness can be, but specifically in that area.
Yes. And even growing up, I dealt with a form of depression. I was the only child. I struggled in school. Kids would pick on me. and I didn't feel like I had a purpose. And I felt like, well, God, why am I here?
Yeah.
And it's sad when you struggle at 12 and 13 years old with your purpose, which no child or no individual should ever struggle with that.
I know why you're here today. I know some very specific people that God sent you here today to minister to. Very specific. So I hope everyone is listening, because I know this is for some of you. So then the transition from law enforcement to working in counseling. Now, I know you mentioned that you had to begin to work on your own personal balance. What did that journey look like? What were some of the steps you took to begin getting your life in balance?
Well, first I had to admit that I had an issue, that I had a problem, and what was going to be my action plan. And I feel like many of us, we know we want to change, but we don't actually set out a plan of action. But I also knew that if I didn't change, then the end was going to come quickly for me. But through the grace of God, and I show much honor to my mom, and reason being is she's the one who introduced me to Christ. And when I was going through that bout of depression, the relationship that I have with God, that got me through. And once I got past that, I rededicated my life to the Lord, and through the grace of God, I'm here today. But then it wasn't over with. We know that relationships can have an impact on our mental, on our spiritual, on our emotional. And I wasn't in the right relationships. Not saying there was anything bad with the people that I was with. It's just that I didn't have myself together. And so after one of my relationships, I decided I had to make a change. And I knew that I had to recenter myself. And so I looked at my life. I said, well, Chris, what do you need to work on? Well, number one for me was spiritual. I had to get closer to God. I had to get stronger in my faith. And that was where my journey began.
Wow. I love it. I didn't know where you were going when you talked about the relationship, because I remember a friend of mine, actually I had him on my show, it's actually Josh Norman from the Redskins, his older brother. He talked about being in that space where he had to recenter, and so for him, he went into a completely celibate life in so many different ways, because he said he had to be able to truly focus on him and God, not let anything be a distraction. So as you began this journey of this centering, this refocusing, what were some of the tools that were helpful for you?
Wow. So first I'll say having a strong support group is important. You got to have people that are going to be in your corner. There were some days that, and even today I have my struggles, but you have to have that core group who's going to keep you encouraged. And, unfortunately, I don't feel like we have enough of that in this life. We don't keep each other encouraged. I think, unfortunately, it's in a sense of kind of what can you do for me? But at the time, I had my mom and I had a few other people, and, every day they encouraged me. So I would say, number one, the support group. Number two was this wonderful book right here, the Bible. And I didn't realize how important it is to read the Bible until you begin to struggle. And you don't need, well, I won't say you don't need a counselor. You do need a counselor. You need multiple resources. But spending time in this book for me began to change my outlook on life. And it showed me that everything that we go through in life is temporary. This too shall pass. Walk by faith, not by sight. And those are the key phrases that I would repeat to myself anytime I felt that I was going down a dark path. Chris, you would get past this. This too shall pass. Walk by faith. If God is for you, who can be against you? Those are the things that kept me encouraged. And I tell my clients, and I tell people in general, you have external encouragement, and then you have internal encouragement. Now, you might not always get the external encouragement that you need to keep moving forward. So you have to find ways to encourage yourself internally. And so for me, it was picking up this Bible, and that I still do today.
That's awesome. As you were talking about talking to yourself, I was thinking about as I got older, since we're going to be real, I'm going to be transparent about some things. So, I hope y'all are okay. But as I got older, I started, why are you looking like that, Christine? I'm sorry. I started, as I would get closer to the time of the month where my menstrual cycle would start, I would get very, like, this heaviness, this darkness. And I would always, tell my son, I feel like the world's coming to an end, which is so the opposite of my personality. And it was like, when I was in a group of women, and this is the importance of people sharing with each other, and everybody started talking about the same thing, like, the way my hormones have changed, now this time I start feeling, and I was like, oh, that's exactly how I'm feeling, you know. And so then I began to recognize that it wasn't necessarily something specific to me, but it was hormonal. And so I began having those talks with myself. Whenever I would get close at the time in the month, I said, okay, Regina, this is going to pass. It's just a few days. In a couple of days, you're going to be sunshiny again. You got to get through these days to get there. And it made such a difference. Two things. Number one, speaking to myself. But number two, knowing there were other people who had similar struggles, that I wasn't in it by myself, and I could have those conversations whenever you were in those spaces.
Absolutely.
So it says here that you are a life coach and a fitness coach for Project Health and Wellness, as well as a certified speaker, coach, and trainer for the John Maxwell team. I'm such a fan of John Maxwell and everything that he has done, and what he has done in terms of creating more leaders and more people that go out and change the world. How did you get associated with John Maxwell team?
So I've always wanted to coach, and I think I've always been a life coach in some form or fashion, but I didn't have the official training. And I went online and I just Googled life coach, and I saw John Maxwell's program, and I like the program because it's faith-based, and that's what I do when I coach my clients. Is spirituality, is faith first. You know, that's the foundation to all of us. And so if that's not in a good place, if that's not solid, then everything else around you is going to crumble. And so I saw the program, I went through it, I had a chance to meet some great people that shared the same feelings that I do as far as wanting to give and to serve. And once I completed the John Maxwell certification program, I created the Project Health and Wellness business that I have now. And the purpose of Project Health and Wellness is to help people see that they can change and they can transform into being their best self. But more importantly, when you transform, it's transforming the mind and the body and the spirit. We place a lot of emphasis on the physical. The reason being is what we can see. We can judge our physical. We get big, we get smaller. You know, we have abs, we have muscles. But the spiritual part, for me, is the most important, because I always give this story. If cancer attacks your body, it's going to attack your body. It's going to eat you up, but it can't touch your spirit. That's right. But if your spirit is not strong enough to sustain that battle and that journey, then you'll crumble. But then also the mental. So you also got to have a strong mindset as well. So I feel that the spiritual, the mental, and then the physical.
Absolutely. And you're one of the few coaches that I've met who attack all three, which is important because we are, you know, a three-part being. We are not purely one or the other. We're all three. So whenever you started Project Health and Wellness, what was your plan? What did you set out to do with this project?
So the plan was to give back, to be able to add value to my community and the people that I come in contact with. So the first project, I did a health and wellness class at the City of East Point Library, and the class had about 30 people. And I was nervous. You know, I'm not a big public speaker. I'm an introvert. You know, I don't like to talk to people. Pretty much people that know me say I stay to myself. But it allowed me to grow. But then I also saw that there's a need. Now, it's not the most attractive aspects of what's being put out today, but I feel that it's important, and there's a need. And I tell people, don't be reactive. You know, what does it mean to be reactive? It means that we're reacting to a crisis or to a situation. You want to be proactive, and that's what I teach my clients. Don't wait until you have a situation to act on it. You know, we all don't know how much time we have on this earth. So the last thing we want to do is waste time and then wait until we get into a crisis. Let that be a physical, spiritual, or mental crisis. And so overall, you know, the aspects of Project Health and Wellness is, one, to serve people and to also support those that are in need. And then also help those that want to transform their lives to be their best person.
So all of your coaching purely one-on-one or individual? Do you do any group coaching?
Yes, so I do group coaching. I do family coaching. I do fitness coaching. And even with my fitness coaching, there is aspects of life coaching that comes in the midst of that. I've learned that if you just attack the physical, people normally go back to their old habits.
Yes.
There's a reason, right? There's a reason why we do everything from what we eat, how we eat, why we eat. And if you don't change a person's thought process behind it, then what ends up happening is they resort back to old ways. And then it becomes a cycle for that person. And they never get out of that cycle until they change this.
Absolutely. So in that very first health and wellness class that you did at the library, what are some of the topics that you covered?
So of course, with basic health and wellness is basic. I didn't want to complicate. I didn't want to confuse people, but it was basic, just nutrition, from eating your fruits and your vegetables, managing stress, meditation, the importance of physical activity, and then also giving the focus on the mind, body, and spirit. Because sometimes we don't think about how important it is to focus on all three. And like you said, we're three-dimensional. And if you're only working on one dimension, then that means that the other two dimensions are going to fall below wayside. And that's when life begins to take a dive, is because you don't have that balance.
With the clients that you're currently seeing, what are some of the commonalities? Because I'm sure that there are some things that you're seeing over and over again that people are dealing with. What are some of the major commonalities?
Consistency. So at the end of the day, we all know what we need to do. We know that. The problem is we don't stay consistent enough to see the results. And we live in a society where we want instant gratification, and we want it right now, not thinking that it took us years to get to where we are right now, and we want that magic pill to reverse all our ailments, to lose all the weight, or to get spiritually stronger, and it doesn't work that way. And you have to be committed. You have to say, okay, I want to change. And not only do I want to change, but I also want to have a plan of action. And then once I establish that plan of action, then I want to go out there and teach others about how they can change their lives. What saddens me the most, so I grew up around Campbellton Road in Delowe. And when I drive by Campbellton Road in Delowe, I see Church's Chicken. And I just see the influx of people coming in and out. And we're slowly killing ourselves, and we don't even know it. We don't. And so my purpose is, before I leave this earth, one, I want to be to leave a legacy. But then two, I want to be able to impart on people how important it is to take care of yourself. Be mindful of what you're doing, from whatever enters you, to your mind, to your body, and to your spirit.
Absolutely. Now, you say you brought some tools with you. So you told us about your Bible. What else did you bring with you?
Tools. So this is an important book, and I always recommend my clients to have a journal. And the reason being, it's important for us to capture our thoughts and our feelings. Funny enough, I wrote a letter to myself 3 years ago to God. And I read that letter a couple of days ago. It almost brought me to tears to see where I am today. And so I think it's important to make sure that you're documenting your journey in life. And so I use this specific book when I run across a scripture that speaks to my spirit. I write that scripture in this book, and I'll go back and read it, and then I'll go back and share it. And then the other tool I have is this prayer book. And I recommend a prayer book for everyone. And sometimes we don't know exactly what to pray for. And this book gives you a guide. Really, the name of the book is just a special.
I was going to say, someone has suggested that prayer book to me, and okay. I've never picked that one. I got a couple others, but I need to get that.
You have to get this. And I say that because sometimes we will get into a point in life where life has just crashed down on us, and we do not know what to pray for. And it's great to have a guide that can instill those words into you, to be able to speak to God in a clear fashion.
Absolutely.
So those are my three tools that I utilize.
Well, show them that one. Was it Prayers That Avail Much?
Yeah, Prayers That Avail Much. It's a great book. You can get this on Amazon. And real quick,
it's one of the classics. It's been around for a while.
It's been around for a while, but just real quick, I have a friend of mine that's in hospice, and he was diagnosed with brain cancer about a year ago. And what I do is I read this book to him to keep him encouraged. And sometimes I don't know what to pray for him about. Yes. But this book helps me.
That's a blessing. I love it. Stormy on Martian has that, Power of a Praying series. And for years, in my marriage with my son, I would always, same thing, I wouldn't always know what to pray. So I would find prayers that, helped lead me to wherever I needed to be in that moment. You mentioned legacy, which is interesting because it's one of the questions that I always like to ask. You mentioned wanting to leave a legacy. What is the legacy that you want to leave?
I have a couple, but I would say number one is the health and wellness legacy. I believe that if you're at your strongest, mentally, physically, and spiritually, then we can do more for God. But if we're not feeling well, if we're on a lot of medications, if we're not eating the right foods, then we cannot serve God at our highest calling. And many of us fall short. And the talents and the creativity that we all have, we don't get a chance to share it with the world because, see, we're dealing internally and we don't feel and we don't have the energy to sustain. So I would say primarily leaving a health and wellness legacy. And hopefully people, somebody will be able to follow behind me and to bring this into the communities. And it doesn't matter if it's black, white, brown, yellow, it doesn't matter. We're all in need. Cancer affects all of us. High blood pressure affects all of us. So if I can just impart that in people, the importance of taking care of yourself so that you can serve God at the highest calling, I've done my job.
I love it. Well, we're going to have our second guest come up. And after that, I like to bring all the guests back to close out the show together. Can you stay to the end?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. So do this before we go. Let our audience know how they can contact you, how they can follow you, how they can get in connection with you so that they can begin to feed from the information that you're sharing.
Okay, so the website for Project Health and Wellness is www.projecthealthandwellness.com. They can also email me at chris@projecthealthandwellness.com. I am on Facebook, so I have a Christopher Milton page, which is a public page, which is more inspirational messages, and then I have a Project Health and Wellness page, and I'm also on Instagram.
Awesome. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break. Our second guest is in the building from Greenville, South Carolina. So when we come back, we'll be live with Kimby the Goddess here on the Regina Sunshine Show. Where? At Regina Sunshine Global Network. Um, well, we're live now. You're live with Regina Sunshine. On the Regina Sunshine Show, Regina Sunshine Global Network. Yeah, Kimby and I were having our own personal discussion. But welcome to the show, Kimby the Goddess. It's so good to have you here.
It's so good to
like straight off
here.
The highway, like literally.
I came in like Eddie Kane yesterday.
Well, you know, I was like to mention how I met someone, and I've told the story before about how I got introduced to the whole world of spoken word and open mics, and I was looking for someone to write a poem for my sister and ours women's empowerment organization, and I was told about this open mic, and here I was, 40 years old. Had never, well, close to 40, had never been to an open mic in my life. And I went to Coffee Underground in Greenville, South Carolina. And Kimby was one of the hosts, or they ran that event. And that was the night my life changed. I tell everybody that was such a turning point for me, because what I saw was you guys get on stage and open yourselves up and share your hurts, your pains, your failures, your defeats, your joys, your triumphs, everything with us. And I felt so privileged, let's say that, to be in that space that you guys would honor us with sharing your lives with us. And so I think so highly of you and what you guys do. And like I said, my life changed that night. And I saw you that night. I saw John Boyd that night. You know, I'm thinking, you know, who else? Antonio Mack, everybody. And even when I moved to Atlanta, and I started doing the whole open mic scene here, I'm like, I still saw the best of the best in Greenville, South Carolina.
Okay, man.
So... So welcome.
Thank you.
Tell our audience a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Well, excuse my voice. I actually have just literally come off the highway from teaching a performance workshop with a bunch of brilliant writers at what's known as the Watering Hole Retreat. And it's a retreat for... well, the Watering Hole, what they're trying to do is bring the Harlem Renaissance into this modern day, and just work specifically kind of with people of color and just getting those different facets of voices. So I was one of the facilitators honored to join the retreat this week. So my voice is, I literally just got it back maybe like a few hours ago. But I was leading performance workshop as it relates to yoga and stage presence. So just being able to give that, you know, it was just about 40 participants, men and women. It was, oh my gosh, talk about life-changing. The Watering Hole, TWHpoetry.org. Make sure if you are a writer, and it doesn't matter if it's fiction, poetry, nonfiction, mystery, whatever it is, if you put your, you know, pen to a paper, you need to be a part of this collective, the Watering Hole. I see you, tribe. That's what they say. I see you, tribe. But I am Kimby Taez. That is my real name. That is the name my mama gave me.
Hey, Mama, you get such a beautiful mama.
And it was her birthday recently, too.
Happy birthday, Mama.
It was my birthday recently, too. So, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Kimby.
Capricorn's in the building. But I am I've grown into knowing that I am a spiritual entertainment performance artist. So, I'm not just a poet. I'm not just a speaker. I'm not just getting up there singing a song. There's a healing happening. So I started writing very early on as a child. It was just natural for me, you know, to write those stories, and I would always love giving inanimate objects a voice. So that was kind of my introduction into it. For writing, for singing, I grew up in a musical family. So the grandmother was the church, or is the church pianist for over 50-something years.
Yes.
Mama used to sing on a band back in the 70s, you know, very P-Funk Parliament, you know, era-esque, a band called Freedom back in the days. And I had a lot of other family members that, you know, played instruments from saxophone, trumpet, piano, like that. So it's always been fused in me, fused in me, fused in me. So you got poetry part, you have the musical background, but then you also have just the spiritual healing aspect of it. Um, when I was in college, I actually have a background in fashion design. So that was
Now that
that was
I
another,
didn't know. That piece
that
I
was,
didn't know.
that was another life. That was another life. So I went to FIT. Um, I was raised in New York. I always say I was born and bred in the South, buttered and jellied in New York City. That is who I am. But in school, I ended up taking Tai Chi and yoga just to kind of calm all of that working in fashion industry and being an internship in New York at that time. And that's a very cutthroat field to be in, the fashion industry. But it didn't resonate with my heart. I can make some clothes now, but it didn't resonate. I just make it for myself. Maybe along the lines I'll, have Kimby Taez clothing line or something.
Put it out there.
Speak it,
Put it out there.
speak it. When this album blows off, then we'll do that. But taking the Eastern techniques, of healing, that just spoke to me. And my mother meditated too, but me and my brother used to think she was just kind of weird, but it was part of me as well. So I became a yoga instructor, and to be a better yoga instructor, I became a licensed massage therapist. So I love the anatomy of the body and the mystery of just how we're here, how we're here. And the inside, like people have no idea the mechanics, like if you've ever seen the nerves, the central nerve system, they're like threads, little threads. And to see, oh my gosh, we're here. Yes. And this is not an accident, this is a beautiful divine design. So I was blessed, with some hands where I could feel some things. So that all fused in. So poetry, music, healing. So ergo, why I am spiritual entertainment performance artist. And to bring it out. So I had to figure that out, in order to give it to you all.
But I've been seeing it happening.
Yeah.
If you've been, that's the great thing about social media, right? Is that when you don't see people every day, you can see the things. And so I've been from a distance watching this transformation that is taking place with you.
It's literally, I was really like in a cocoon because I had to be, so I was in the chrysalis forming and all of these things, life events and everything was happening. And then coming out of that cocoon, I recognized my own wings, and I recognized, that butterfly essence, that we all have. So it hit me. It really hit me. And so that kind of transitions to the song.
Yes.
Okay. So I have been working on a project called From the Heart, self-explanatory, From the Heart, as an artist, looking at other artists, from inspirations from Patti LaBelle, Rochelle Farrell, Billie Holiday, I'd always say to myself, I want to be like those women, they made you feel something. No matter where you are in your life, if that song came on, you just, ooh, yes, you would go to that place. And that always inspired me. So I just had to basically be transparent.
Yes. Yes. And I want you to pause right there.
Yes.
Because I remember when we did the Purpose Driven Women Tour.
Right.
And we came through Greenville, and what was the name of the restaurant?
Life It.
Life It. Oh my God. Amazing vegan. Oh my God. The food was so good. And that's the thing I remembered about that day. As we began to share, you were so transparent about the things you were going through, about the things that had happened to you. And I believe that our transparency helps heal other people because they think they're the only one experiencing something or going through something. And that day you shared some very personal, deep, hurtful things that there were women in the room that I look at now like bittersweet and others that have experienced things since then that they needed from your story. Why have you decided, because you know you have to make a decision, to be so transparent?
And this kind of ties into what I just worked with the retreat just a few days ago. And one of the things that I instructed the participants is, as someone who is on the stage or someone who is being watched, or an artist, a creative, the audience wants to connect to you. But how can you connect to the audience if you're not connected to your true self? Okay? So when there's a performer up there, the audience can tell if that person on stage, if they're fake or not.
Yes.
Right? Even if the words are saying are convincing, but it's something about their spirit, your spirit, it's not resonating. So for me, very early on, it's painful. It's harmful to hold on to that stuff, right? And we all store stuff within our bodies. Like I was hearing to talk about, with the health, so it's not healthy in every realm to hold and store into that stuff. We all store and hold on to stuff from very early childhood, of course you get into adulthood, and it's just bags and bags and bags, and it manifests, whether different aches or pains, parts of the, organs can manifest into certain diseases, of the body. So to speak about it, to write about it, to get it out, it's healing. So for me, it was a healing to do that, because I love myself. So I'm not going to hold that and let that store into a chest pain, and develop into, a heart situation. Or I'm not going to hold that in my womb and let it develop into, some inflammation, because we are what we think. We just are, that's just how the body and the mind works. And when I did that, and then the response, so that's what's been basically the fuel for me. And I didn't know it was going to be that, but it let me know, okay, this is the direction, that this is your purpose.
Yes. That was a divinely appointed day, because the conversation, if you remember what happened in the room that day, it was not what we went there for. We thought we were going to have one conversation.
Yeah.
And then when you guys started opening up, and I could, and the women in the room were, I mean, it was like stuff was breaking inside of people because y'all were so open. It was life-changing for people that were in the room that day.
And that is the thing. There was another event that I, Conversations with Class, that I had, so, I do women's events or seminars, pretty much wherever you call me, that's where I go, that's what I do. But within the group, I spoke to these women, and they range from 16 years old to 70 years old. And when all of these women started sharing their stories and the similarities, and we realized, oh my gosh, your story is my story. Oh, I went through that too. Oh, that happened to me. So you don't feel you're alone. And that's where, so much disease or whatever can come, where you feel that it's just all on you. Oh, it's just me. This is the only person it's happening to. So, I mean, and I'll say it, when I came out about the loss of my first child, that I lost at 22 weeks, and at that time period, that changed me as well. So I always say the death of my first son kind of brought the life into me. Like, I died, but I was also reborn on that time period as well, because that brought something deeper into me. But other people came in my inbox, it was like, oh my gosh, this happened to me, so it was just a slew of me too's, in that realm. And so getting into the music, that's just how I communicate, like I said, it's in me. So when I came out with the first single was Turn Around, and the second single, I Forgive You, and the slew of testimonials from everybody, men, women, the age, it didn't matter, backgrounds, it didn't matter, where it just opened up something in people, whether it was from the visual,
Keep going. Go ahead.
the visual or the song lyrics itself, it just opens something up in people. And so that leads us into, with being transparent and to letting go of those things and those bags, is forgiveness.
Yes.
To let go. Forgive others, but forgive yourself. And to forgive ourselves for thinking or holding on, or thinking that was the path that we were supposed to walk on holding on to this, that, or the other. Forgive yourself and let that go. And it's a process.
It is. Well, and I'm not going to go too deep into the specifics, but I want to ask you this, because you weathered a very public breakup. And I say that because you guys ever met that couple that you all are invested in? You love the way they, So I'll leave it there. How was it to be able to weather that in public and come to this space?
Honey, it was hard. It was hard because I realized not only was it us two, but it was everybody.
All of us. I felt involved.
It was all of us.
I felt involved.
So it was, this celebrity, if you will, and I was in a way trapped in that picture that everyone saw us as. We're black love, the epitome of black love. It's supposed to be this. And I was trapped in this picture, and I was like, no, guys, I have to get out this picture. This picture doesn't exist anymore, And it was years. It was hard. It was hard. It was hard. That's just simple, It was hard. It was embarrassing. But I can say today, I'm thankful for it, because all of that, once again, fuel and tools, and it was God's way of saying, I have something better for you.
Well, I wanted to mention that because I'm so in love with what I see happening with you now. To watch the
Don't
journey.
Make me cry.
Supposed to cry. But I'm serious, because to know where you came from. It's one thing for people to see you shining now. People always say, "Oh, she's shining now," but to know the background and to see how you've grown and flourished, and to see you and your son winning, I'm loving every minute of it. And I just want to tell you, I'm so proud of you. I am, because you have stood strong, and now you, like you say, you're in this space where you're using everything you've been through to heal other people.
Right.
And when someone, like you, strong, beautiful, can be on stage, people think when they see you again, oh, she ain't got no problem.
Oh, honey.
Right? Y'all know the people, y'all be like, oh, they got everything. But for you to have been very transparent about what you went through and transparent about where you are now, I believe it has helped a lot of people, because, again, the woman sitting at home saying nobody else is feeling like I'm feeling, or no one else has been through this. And then Kimberly the goddess is out there saying, baby, I've been there and I've overcome, and look at me shining. It helps them.
My power, your power, our power is in our transparency. Our power is in our ability to forgive. Our power is in our ability to love ourselves deeply, in a true space, and not apologize for that. That's right. At all. So that's what I chose to do. Because you can choose to stay over here and wallow and be pitiful and just, but no, I don't got time for that. I have things to do.
I love it. Well, I didn't get the chance to upload the song, but I have it on my phone, because I want to play it. You want to play it? Let's play it now?
That's fine.
All right, so make sure I got good volume on my mics.
And you can also go on the website or my YouTube and put in Kimby Taez, Kambitiez, and the song is I Forgive You on my YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, just share, and just share the message, the healing.
All right, so I guess the Regina Sunshine debut of I Forgive You. Volume. Sounds so campy already.
That's JJ.
Is that JJ Day?
Uh-huh.
Oh, sorry. But it feels like you. You know we love JJ around here.
That's my
To all who have hurt me so, shot me down and forced me to grow, and it hurts me so, but it feeds me though. I forgive you, 'cause I had to. I forgive you, 'cause I had to. For me. For me. To love a narcissist, know they will laugh at your pain, stab you with a bloody knife, and wonder why you are bleeding. How dare you? How dare you feel? You're supposed to take it with a smile. It's not real.
I'm gonna stop right there. Because I want y'all to go and listen to the rest of the song. I want y'all to go. Because you want to hear the rest now, don't you? I know. Y'all want to hear the rest of it. So I'm going to stop so y'all can go and download her song and get her song. First of all, you took me somewhere very quickly. And it was like a Sade. Yeah, I mean, but
Don't y'all happy?
I'm scared.
But wait, see, you have to see the video to go along with it, because I dreamt the video a year before it happened. So that vision, everything in the video to the song, it's a purpose and it's a meaning. So nothing is by accident. So it's all in there.
I'm just kind of speechless. Christine? No, because when you start and you get to the part, the for me, I mean, you feel that, right? You know, it's not even about you anymore. I got to forgive you for me, for my own wholeness and healing. Wow. Yes, you guys, tell them again where they can go and get the entire song.
So you can go on YouTube, put in Kimby Tiez, that's my name, Kimbitiez, and the song is I Forgive You. So go like my YouTube page and subscribe to the YouTube page, like I Forgive You, comment, share the video, I Forgive You, and I've started the hashtag I Forgive You, hashtag I Forgive You, so it's a movement. So it's a never-ending, I'm going to just keep going, you know, till I guess everybody's healed, so I got some work to do.
Well, you know, at the beginning of this interview, you know, I let Kimby introduce herself. Those of us, you know, in this poetry world know who's sitting beside me, but some of you might not know. So I just got to drop a little stuff out this bio on them, so y'all know who's in the room. I said she's a visionary in Greenville, South Carolina community. Kimby's performances have included TEDx talks at Furman University, opening for R&B sensation Trey Songz, the 3rd annual Milliken Festival, and the winner of over 10 poetry slams, including the Queen of the South Slam in 2009. Kimby has shared her poetry locally with the Say What Slam team, regionally at several Southern Fried. If y'all don't know about Southern Fried,
Southern
Southern
Fried.
Fried. Find out about Southern Fried Poetry Festivals, and nationally as the National Poetry Slam in Madison, Wisconsin. She's has been a featured guest at several colleges and universities. Kimmy was awarded for her contributions in the world of poetry at the first annual Poetry Gala in Columbus, Georgia. Kimmy co-organized and hosted the 22nd annual, that was a dope, Southern Fried Poetry Festival in Greenville, South Carolina. And it goes on and on and on. And whenever you have conversations in the world of spoken word, there are certain names that always come up. And the legends know her because she is a legend. So you guys look her up, and y'all will understand why I'm a fan. That piece she used to do with the Beyonce win.
Right.
Girl, that's one of my favorites. I love that.
That's on the YouTube too.
Oh,
you can
yeah.
go see that. It's called Runaway. It's on the YouTube channel.
I love that. And I know your voice, so I'm not gonna, ask you to perform.
Could I push it out?
Can you do a piece? Girl, we're good. That's the great thing about this being my space.
Okay.
So we run a few minutes over,
So
we're good.
you run away.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
so if I fade in and out, y'all, don't judge me. This isn't how I usually sound.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Go.
Y'all, let's go to a place. Let's go to a place where worry is unfounded and sadness is similar to a newborn baby without a smile. It doesn't exist. Let's go to a place where all those you thought you loved and lost, they never really left. Let's go to a place where owing someone a hug or a smile is your only debt. Y'all, let's go to a place where judgment isn't part of anyone's fabric because we are all wrapped up like tulip petals in cloths of peace, truth, and righteousness. Y'all, let's run away. Let's run away to a place where it never mattered the color of Obama's mother or father. The consensus is census. I place a check mark next to human. Y'all, let's run away. Let's run away to a place where we all ride miles to that same rhythm of Davis. A place where we're not afraid to go wherever, and we'll begin down to the staple singers like some "Let Me Take You There." Oh, mercy, come on, like Mavis. Y'all, let's run away. Let's run away to a place where we are happily caressed by the essence of the sun while inhaling Nag Champa to a band of gypsies, and we'll be sipping on the sweet nectars of mangoes and champagne. We'll be cleansed spirits dipped under purple rain, transformed under black moon, and then we'll stand in b-boy stands with shell top Adidas on and have a funky, fresh, dope outfit. Yes, I said funky, fresh, dope outfit because that's how old I am. And we'll be standing there, and we'll have that Beyonce wind blowing in our hair and our clothes. Y'all know that Beyonce wind. That wind that blows indoors and outdoors for no reason at all, but we'll all have that because you made it when you have your own wind. And we'll just be all like, on some breezy and cool. Y'all, let's run away. Let's run away to a place where our wings are allowed to spread, sprout, and soar, no longer bound by conditioned minds of global confusion. And we would all fly away to Willy Wonka Chocolate Factory, and I could get us in free, because I'd be cool with one of them little Oompa Loompas, and we wouldn't need no golden ticket. Y'all, let's run away to a place where tears are just those tears from good belly laughs where you laugh so hard that it hurts all up in that region up in there, right? It's either that or gas, but I ain't gonna tell nobody. But that would be the only hurt heard of. Y'all, let's run away to a place where grown folks, where foreplay is the breath, and orgasms are just sex. And sex are just orgasm leading to molecular big bang, 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 theories of a fourth kind where we would both explode into tiny stardust particles, and then we would linger amongst each other in space. We would create new alphabet, new languages, and form naughty Tropicana juicy erotica-like shapes, and then we would come back into our physical form. We would look into each other's eyes, and we would make those beautiful, ugly faces and say, "Damn!" In comparison, heaven is just the pit stop, but the drop top of living is to be in the right here, in the right now, on the Regina Sunshine Talk Show. And that is where we are running away to. So whoever wants to come with us out there, say let's go. Make sure you go to my YouTube and like my channel. Thank you all.
Now you know why I'm such a fan. That
In
is.
my throat.
You did so good. Well, I thank you so much for
so
being
much.
here, for honoring us with your presence. Continue to do great work. There are not just women, there are people who need you, need your story, need your light, need your love.
I receive
And
that.
I continue to look forward to watching you shine from a distance.
I receive that.
Sound good?
Book me for your shows and your events.
Yes, please.
KimmyTheGoddess.com.
Please, please, you would be transformed. This is the thing I tell people: those events we did them for other women, but we went and our lives were changed. I got more out of those events than the women who were there because of people like you who came in who gave everything you had to the
It's
women
an
that were
energy
present.
exchange.
Yes.
It's a true energy exchange. And I'm just grateful for what's happening. I'm grateful what's to come
Yes.
in advance. I'm grateful in advance.
That's so good. Well, we're going to take a break.
Okay.
You're going to stay here. We're going to bring Christopher
Okay.
back, and we're going to close out the show together.
Yes.
All right, you're live with Regina Sunshine and Kimby the Goddess here on the Regina Sunshine Show at Regina Sunshine Global Network. All right, you guys, you're back live with Regina Sunshine here on the Regina Sunshine Show. And if you missed this show, if you're just tuning in, you need to go back because both of my guests, Christopher and Kimby, have shared so much of their personal journeys and now what they're doing, what helped heal them and how they're using their lives and to help heal other people. So definitely check out the beginning part of the show. But I like to end the show with both guests, with all of my guests, so that I give you guys one last opportunity to say a word of encouragement or speak life into our audience. And both of you have shared just some very painful things that you went through and just how you've come out on the other side of those experiences now to live lives where you're serving other people, helping heal other people. So my question for you is this. There's someone watching right now that has not made it to that other side. They're in that beginning phase. They just found out something that's hurtful, or they're sitting somewhere thinking they can't move forward, that, you know, there's no way with my present situation that I can be and do those things that are on my heart to do. And I just want to know from the two of you, what would be your first step or first word of encouragement to help them get to that next step? Christopher, you want to go? Kimby? Kimby.
I want to listen.
Okay. Basically, don't blame yourself. Don't judge yourself from feeling what you feel. Allow yourself to be in that space. And it's okay, that hurt, that sadness, but know that it's temporary. It may feel like it's never ending now, and it's a black hole, what you feel now, but it's okay. The darkness is actually okay. The thing is, you don't have to stay there, and you won't stay there, because there it will clear out. Where there's darkness, there is light. So just know that this phase, wherever you are, whatever you've just found out, it's okay. But you don't have to take it all as the end. Because I would put a hashtag where I would say the end beginning.
I like that.
So yes, this whatever this is might have been an end, but that's not your end.
Yes. I love that. It might have been the end of that, but it's not your end. Thank you. Christopher.
That was beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's tough to come behind that.
Well, you want me to go first?
Yeah, I did. I'm going to keep it simple. I'll say first, just keep your trust in God. And I'm going to go back to what I said earlier. Walk by faith and not by sight. And also, this too shall pass. Keep that in mind and don't give up.
Awesome. Do this one more time. Tell our audience where they can reach you guys, because I know there are people out there who after hearing you today, need to connect with you guys beyond this show. Kimby.
Okay, so you can go to my website, KimbyTheGoddess, that's all together, .com, and you can see me for poetry events, for inspirational speaking events, to perform, feature, or combine all of that, which is what I've done. And KimbyTheGoddess.com, and I'm also on every social media platform, Instagram, Twitter, under Kimby the Goddess or Kimby Taez. You can reach me.
Awesome. Christopher.
You reach me at www.projecthealthandwellness.com. I am also on Facebook and Twitter. And you can email me at chris@projecthealthandwellness.com if you want some coaching, some transformational coaching, some fitness coaching, or just need a friend to talk to.
I like that. Just need a
That's
friend,
so
because some
nice.
people just some people just need somebody. Can you just listen to me for 5 minutes, right? Well, I thank you guys so much for being here. Continue on your journeys. I look forward to seeing you again. I know that we will all see each other again in some spaces where we can truly meet, empower, and encourage our people. Awesome. To our audience, thank you for listening. I leave you with the words I always leave you with. Remember this: God loves you just the way you are. You are beautiful because you were created in love. You were fearfully and wonderfully made. You have the seeds of greatness within you. You were born to live a victorious life. You are brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous. You are worthy of the best things in life. Make sure you guys tune in next week. We'll be right back here on the Regina Sunshine Show. Shout out to my sponsors again, Leading Through Living Community and Bold Favor Media Group. Thank you for supporting everything we do here. Make sure you guys tune in tonight, 7 o'clock. We'll have a rerun of Team Bride Tribe. It'll be one of our brides that came and played our game show. And then at 9 o'clock, we'll have The Curve. It is the Curvy Woman's Perspective talk show. So it'll be live here with Shannon Denise and all of her Curve co-hosts. That's it. I leave you guys with my personal motto. I always say it's not over till I win. If I hadn't won yet, that just means it's not over. So I tell you today, it's not over till you win. If you hadn't won yet, baby, that just means it's not over. Be blessed. Keep winning. We're out.